Yes.
SFJ 4x4 Studios presents
in my oversized four-wheel drive Jeep.
a Jeep podcast starring industry experts.
Pure monosity. What? Say that again.
With mad scientist Scott Brown.
Use my drill press as a sort of lathe.
Our host, Neil Simpson.
If one light goes out, they all go out.
Filled with shenanigans.
We are really professional with Jeeps.
This is I Speak Jeep.
Good. Am I time to go?
Yeah, your time.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever, however you are joining us. This is the I Speak Jeep podcast, episode 40. Big 4-0.
Yep.
And
Ready.
You're not ready. You're not ready. And
This is the most ready we've ever been.
I'm not ready
Neil
for 40.
Simpson from SFJ 4. I'm just going to keep going with my shtick. From SFJ4x4.com. And this is my lovely,
Oh, dear.
decorated,
Oh, boy.
smart man in training.
Yeah. Something. Mad scientist Scott Brown.
That's it.
And today I was just, preparing a certain Jeep to go get a certain part installed.
Janitorial services were not required this morning.
No.
Always appreciated.
Got distracted.
A certain Jeep to go get a certain part
Yes.
installed on a certain thing.
Yes. The ones that know will know.
Oof. Oof.
You might want to watch our Instagram and that sort of stuff because there's going to be some updates.
There's going to be some straight fire.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yep.
Not in the normal,
not like actually on fire.
Not in the normal you and Greg way.
No. We haven't done that in a long time.
Welding over oily rags or like drain ban?
Safety
first.
Yeah, third.
All right, folks. Episode Big 4-0. There's a lot of people around me on the Big 4-0 train at the moment.
Yeah. Don't like it.
We are very lucky to have in shop with us today the originator.
I'll give you a hint.
That's right. Were you going to give us a hint? Scott, the Vanna White of all Jeepdom, is displaying a beautiful blue and white starred ducky. We're going to leave it at that for a moment.
Yes.
But we have a guest.
Yes.
Right? We have a guest on air with us today, in person, in living color, and just on her way back from the great Smoky Mountain Jeep Jam, Jeep Invasion. And they're on their way back through, on their way to Canada. And Chuck Lorre,
No, the big one was in Erie.
gives what a big duck you have.
Yes.
That's his comment to us. Folks, you can join us live, obviously 1019 on Facebook. And this episode will be up on your favorite streaming platform. Overcast was one I heard. Overcast?
Overcast is a streaming platform. Yep.
Overcast is the one that I heard of this weekend. That if you are
not the weather.
If you are an Apple, if you are a Macintosh user, which is not correct at all, but if you are an Apple
I
user,
was going to say Macintosh still exists.
I don't know.
We're Android
you're a
people. I'm sorry.
Granny
I
Smith
apologize.
user,
Granny.
I don't apologize. I don't. I'm not here for you.
My iPhone
people.
identifies as a Red Delicious.
Oh, he's trying to alienate people again.
Now, my Android just works.
Until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We are going to be talking with Allison Parliament and from the official Jeep ducking game and activity. It's very, very exciting. If you have seen any of the ducks exchanging hands on the mean streets and trails of America and international, she is the originator of that very cool movement that we are all living through at the moment.
I feel like it's a good lead-in for what I did this weekend-ish.
Oh, is it?
Well, and last week, sort of, but just excited about it.
Wow. I jump in. Go for it. Shoot
so,
your shot, King. Shoot your shot.
So my youngest, she's 5, and she's starting kindergarten this year. So we had a big meet the teacher event. I had to get off work early to go do it. And then we had to wait around awkwardly for my son's third grade meet the teacher that they do much later than the kindergarten one.
Oh, but do you think they had to go for like first grade and second grade?
Well, yes, they did.
So you had to wait for first grade and second grade.
So we
You had to wait
awkwardly
your turn.
sat in a.
Did you just sit there?
We just sat there.
You didn't like go grab a bite to eat?
No,
Or...
my wife's anxiety won't allow us to do that. And I'm right there with
So
her.
is she not watching today? I mean, we all know my wife never watches, and that's
Yes.
okay.
I mean, Amy's probably shaking her fist at me right
okay,
now
yeah,
as
she's not
throwing
happy. She's not happy.
But anyway, we just camped out. But the fun part is I want our kids to have a good memory of their first school event. So we involved the cars, and we took Amy's CJ7 to meet the teacher.
Okay.
And we pulled in right behind a blue JL. And it had, the hand on the mirror, and it was stock, but you could tell.
JLU?
JLU.
Okay, so four-door.
Yep.
Those are listening. Might not know.
And we already knew my daughter's teacher is also a huge Jeeper, and I had forgotten she has a tank green JKU.
She does not.
Same year as mine.
Get out of here.
You're on 35.
Same as yours. I mean, yours is bigger at that point. But,
Well, yeah, it is.
but a tank green. You're pretty,
I'm not flexing.
you're not flexing. who's counting inches?
We had a moment.
We
Meet
are.
a teacher
That's
of
the
like,
truth.
oh, you have a tank green Jeep too. We're remembering. It was a nice experience. But we get out, and I'm looking at the parking lot as we're getting ready to leave, and there's a yellow lifted, JK, topless, doorless. There's the JLU. There's RCJ. There's a bunch of other Jeeps over here, and someone had gone around and ducked all the Jeeps in the parking lot.
Ducked all the Jeeps at a elementary school.
Yes.
An elementary school, like meet the parent night
Yes.
orientation.
Yep.
And we're ducking Jeeps.
Out ducking Jeeps, spreading smiles.
Somebody had a bag of ducks in the back of their Jeep.
They were
Like,
so excited.
I'm carpe diem.
Yes.
I am just seizing this moment.
And I thought, how cool is this? I knew, obviously we had this plan, and I thought, how cool is that this happened right before?
That's crazy.
We made Meet the Teacher a Jeep event.
And so as it made Meet the Teacher a Jeep event. So as a Jeep family and whatnot, how did the kids react to being ducked?
They were used to it at this point because we were in Mom's Jeep, and that gets Jeep, ducked on a regular.
Oh, so it's
It's
like
not
Jeffrey's.
it's not like
Mall
Dad's
crawling
Jeep that only has one lonely duck.
What?
Right, the cool Jeeps. Our cool Jeeps don't get ducked, but
Wow. Hey, listen. I almost made it on that stump. You didn't even make it.
Oh, now who's flexing? I heard that bus from like back.
I hear you, bug deflector. I hear you, bug deflector.
He has a significant number of blue ducks. I'm just putting it out
has
there.
a substantial number of ducks.
He's
and
totally
just
stealing one of these that are
general.
blue. It's not
I don't
safe.
understand it. I don't.
Yeah.
That's-
My Jeep only has one lonely duck, and I put it proudly on my dash.
Joe Brilla says, "Woohoo for
Say
Tank Green."
Yep. Fellow
Hold strong,
15
guys.
owner.
Hold strong, guys.
Yep.
I think it looks like baby, but that's fine. It's whatever.
Well, and Chuck Lorre saying, I threw ducks at the 4th of July parade after we ran out of candy. All five of them.
He threw his ducks
We
out.
need to be planned out better. Not like, crap, what are we going to do? I'm going to start pitching them off the dash. Give them back.
Oh my gosh.
It'd be like those things they take home from school where each kid takes it home for a while. We should have a duck do that. Where it just roams around.
like
Take
Flat
pictures with the duck.
Stanley.
Yeah.
Like Flat Stanley, but we do like a traveling duck.
We should totally do that.
We could do that with our customers.
Yes. That would be
And
fun.
they're 500 mile.
We'll
like,
just
take a
hide it in their
picture.
Jeep. Do you have a duck? You get a prize.
Listen to you snowballing on how we can do better marketing with our
Yes.
customer base.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
So I did that, and then I also played my TIG welder over the weekend, and I looked at the 36, but they didn't do much other than that. So no fancy, exciting 36 update. I apologize.
Okay.
I actually got called out. I got a phone call. I was like, "Hey, you doing anything with the car?" No.
Did you really?
I did. Well, what are you doing? You need to get moving.
Why aren't you doing? Why aren't you working on it? And I'll give a huge credit. A couple of our friend customers, listening supporters, have been helping me on my
tiny house park.
I'm going to call it a storage shed build
Yes.
for purposes of legalities within the city zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dave.
Dave Ammerman, thank you for joining us. So I'm going to call it my storage facility for the
Yes.
moment.
It's currently storing air.
Storing air and lumber and building supplies. And
Probably an air nailer.
and
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. It's exposed, right? Let's keep it all. Keep the tools locked up. But I have to give a credit for them because they're like, "Hey, you working on the house this weekend? I'm going to come up and help you." You know what I mean? And so it's like that level because I really wanted to like throw the towel in this weekend and be like, "Nah, life's too busy. I've got this going on and that going on." And instead, one of the guys who's diligently coming out helping me on almost every Saturday. His name's Jason, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, even if Jason is not, he's there and he's just that accountability."
Yes.
And we got a ton of work done, just kind of getting the walls rebuilt on that structure. So I'm cruising along swimmingly.
That's
Still
awesome.
probably not going to be living in it, and for another 3 years. Don't tell the wife.
Yeah. It's not Jennifer friendly information right there.
No, that's not okay. We're still holding on to eternal
Harsh
optimism.
reality, but
So eternal optimism that we're gonna hand build this house ourselves and be living in it within a nominal period of time.
yes.
And of course, she was out helping with it some this weekend and whatnot. So it is a really interesting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want to just spice things up with the wife. I don't know. Let's hand build a house together.
You should start out small. Build a birdhouse.
When that doesn't go well,
Do a treehouse next time.
And then you do
We're
a
trying to get
treehouse
Scott to do
after
a
the
treehouse.
birdhouse.
I built the treehouse in 17 or 18. I have this
You
really gnarly treehouse that actually juts out
Way
over
overbuilt.
a ravine.
I wonder why
Greg and I,
did
Greg
that.
and I have plotted against Scott. We're gonna do it. It's gonna have him build the treehouse. We're gonna sit there with beers and laugh and give him unhelpful advice while he tries to build this treehouse.
I think
And
that
the worst
that
part is I won't be able to burn it down when it goes bad.
And- it gets better. We're gonna bring all of our good woodworking tools and leave him there. And he's got time limits that he can have one
got-
tool during this time
he's
frame.
got all the opportunities for success. If you're unaware, Scott only about
I'm
6
making a
weeks
metal
ago.
treehouse.
I'm gonna make it a metal treehouse. Some reason wood is his nemesis. He likes metal because
I
if
did
he cuts
use a
it too
router the
short,
other day.
you told us that. You told us that. You routered that fantastic
Only 12 years late.
windowsill. Oh,
Good morning, Keith.
Keith says, "Hey guys, sorry I'm late." That's all right, Keith. You can still join the
Neil's
party,
usually
man.
late anyway.
I'm
so-
always late to my own podcast, so it's totally okay. We actually were so on time today. We said we should run like out into the parking lot and like work on a Jeep like for 30 seconds and run back in. That would
Yes.
actually be more fitting
Yes.
for our experience this morning.
100%.
I'm going to finish up on my treehouse real quick. Maybe you're unfamiliar. I have a full climbing wall.
Yep.
Catwalk,
Yes.
swings.
Yes.
I have a spiral staircase into it.
I didn't know you had the
If you
spiral
didn't know
staircase.
this, the Simpsons don't do anything small.
No,
It's all in.
it's all in.
Live life to the fullest.
Without question. At the end of my life, I'm going to turn this body in ragged, beaten, broken, and
Sliding into first base.
Sliding into first base and
Yes.
with the heavenly lights on, hopefully. So, amen to that. All right, so we are good.
Yes,
We are good. We're good to transition
we are.
because I'm excited.
Oh boy.
All right, well,
Duck, duck, Jeep. Duck, duck, sheep. Duck, duck, sheep. Duck, sheep. Duck, duck, sheep. Duck, duck, sheep. Duck, duck, sheep.
to the well-organized mind, ducking is but the next great adventure. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to duck a Jeep. Albus Duckador, maybe. One duck to rule them all, one duck to find them, one duck to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Jeeps where the wranglers lie. All ducking aside, SFJ 4x4 Studios, I Speak Jeep, proudly welcomes the one who started it all, the mother ducker herself, Allison Parliament.
Jeff does all of his own transitions. He does.
Jeff
Totally flexing on somebody else that does maybe not do their transitions.
does not do their transitions.
Thank you, Chuck.
Oh.
He says, "Holy duck, best transition ever."
I don't even know where
There was a whole guitar solo there.
That was one heck of a ducking transition.
Is it still the industry's worst transitions?
Yes. Yes. That was
Good.
So folks, if you really don't know, I'm going to take this second to shout out to the Italian Stallion, Jeff Shiramonte there, because he is a producer of our I Speak Jeep podcast show, and those are his transitions, and those are his family, his kids he involves in the process. So kudos to you. I was really nervous to know where that was going with that music. Like that, I've seen a couple movies like that. They're not the most family friendly. Wow. I'm not sure.
He's very intense.
Albus Duckledore. What was that?
That was a reference.
That was for you, Allison. I'm certain that was.
It was.
I'm sure.
All right, Allison. Despite the fact that we have seen this information put out, Scott doesn't have the talking points for this.
I'm not allowed to have.
You're not allowed to have.
They used to block half of my thing because I would talk about it inappropriately at
Literally
different
would have
times.
to redact his copy.
We'd have to redact his copy because
I'm being a good boy not from now on.
he would just. So the thing
I
about
don't even know why I have a paper. I'm not actually supposed to read it.
you're not even allowed to read it. I don't know, Jeffrey, because Jeffrey does a very professional job of preparing us.
He does.
Should we need it? Also, I think it's just in general, like if I randomly lose mine or I make squirrels take over and I make an
pass it
airplane out of it and I throw it.
That has happened.
That I could take yours. So I think there is value in the fact that you have a copy.
Yes.
But for those listening who may not be aware, Scott and Greg are two lead technicians on either performance or vintage, like crave lists. And as soon as they have a list, they become like the most efficient characters.
But I always forget to make one.
You do, but that's okay. That's why we're a team. And so
Mine's always on random pieces of cardboard.
but that's how it should be. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Anyway, Scott once had the episode list, and he just read through.
It wasn't just that episode list. It had the next 3 episodes lined up.
And he covered all of the material for like the next 2 or
I kept
3
us on
episodes.
in like
point
5
even.
minutes.
I kept us
He
on point.
did 3 episodes in 5 minutes.
That's why me and Jeff tried doing a podcast. It didn't go well.
It was okay.
No,
It was okay.
It was a
horrible.
train wreck.
No, it was
We
fine.
need Neil Squirrel to make a podcast work.
That's not. I don't know if that's just a compliment. I feel like that's somehow. I don't think that's good or not.
Exactly.
Allison. So I have these notes here in front of me. And we have, tried to cover the ducking movement some. But I think obviously for our listeners, for our group that gets on and listens to us, all 3 people, would you be willing to share with us how did this start?
Yeah.
Which is probably obviously you tell this story all the time.
I do.
Okay.
I think I told it probably 3,000 times at the Smoky Mountain Jeep.
And here's 3001.
Yeah. I have a really, really sick sense of humor. I like to torture my other half, who is a wonderful human being and puts up with my weird stuff all the time. And so I found out...
That's true love, obviously.
Oh, yeah. But I found out the border was closing due to COVID, and I wasn't going to be able to see him, and we didn't know for how long.
Okay.
The Canadian border ultimately had been closed for almost 2 years when they finally reopened it.
Okay.
And the rules have been interesting all the way across. But when this started, and I didn't know when I get home again, I decided to buy a bag of rubber ducks. I was going to hide them around the house to irritate him so he'd find them and laugh anytime he found them.
Nice.
I was going to be really creative about this, and I was really excited. And then I walked out of the store where I bought them in Bancroft, Ontario, and there was a Jeep, and I was like, I just got mine, and this is amazing.
You're excited. So you
I
had just
was.
recently purchased the Jeep.
Yes, I had got it a month before.
Okay.
And this one was all modded out, and I was stock. Like, it was sad. I was looking at mine going, it's a baby Jeep.
You got to start somewhere.
Oh,
right,
yeah,
right.
for sure. And so, I decided to write nice Jeep on the deck because I always have Sharpies on me. It's a thing.
Totes.
And I
should.
put it on the Jeep, and this big, burly, scary-looking guy comes out of the store going, "What you doing?" It was his Jeep.
Nice. And I'm sorry. Did I detect a little bit of Canadian accent in your voice on that?
Oh yeah, I am Canadian born.
How do you say Canada?
Go ahead, Neil.
I'm not saying it.
Go ahead.
I'm not. Listen, folks. I am not allowed to do accents. I am not.
But he does it anyway.
I desperately. Did you see the Nicole Rutherford? Why would we waste paper when there's cardboard available?
Exactly.
That's called recycling.
Yes.
Look at him change that topic. I still want to hear you say Canada.
I'm not going to say.
Oh, come on.
What I'm not.
You might as well.
I'm going to do a really good job until it just comes out, and I promise I won't do my Canadian accent either.
Oh, you're not going to hurt my
Oh no,
feelings.
I want to hear that too.
Say, people will stop us, especially if we're in the southern states, and ask us to say out, about, around, and again.
This might as well be Minnesota. I'm just it's bubbling up in me. I can't help it.
It's okay. We have the northeastern Ohio accent. I've been told.
Which is perfect dialect, if anybody is concerned in the whole entire world.
Yes.
No.
No, I was like, I've been down south. They're like, you have a weird accent. Like, what? What are you talking about?
So I'm sorry, Allison. How do you get in Canada in the first place? You are specifically born and raised in the U.S. or okay?
No. I was born in Orillia, Ontario, Canada.
You're born in Ontario, Canada. Okay.
My dad's auto industry, so we actually transferred to the States in '99, and I did most of my middle school, high school in the southern U.S., Indiana, Ohio, and Alabama.
Oh.
And then I moved back to Ontario for a while and came back to the States for a better job. And I was working as a financial advisor when I got into Canada with all the COVID lockdowns.
Okay.
So that being said, when we started this, a big, scary looking guy came out looking at the Jeep and the duck, and he's grinning, and I'm going, oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah,
Like,
right, totally.
Totally. I'm praying he has a sense of humor, and thank God he did. He's the kindest man in the entire world.
That's awesome.
And he was like, we need to put this on social media. And so we hashtagged it on Instagram and created an Instagram for it called Duck Duck Jeep.
Cool.
And that has evolved a little bit now, but we ended up with 2,000 followers very, very quickly. And we put up a Facebook group, and it kept growing. And, this started as a joke. We figured it would end in town and it would be dead.
Sure.
And then we see it pop up all over the U.S., and we had 50 states represented in a few days. We had all the provinces popping in, and then we had other countries starting.
And when was this? What year? What
July
month?
of 2020 is when we started
Okay.
this. And it's gone insane. Jeep actually released the 392 Rubicon keynote with the ducks. And Jim Morrison can be quoted with, the best part about the ducks was that it didn't come from corporate, which was a huge fangirl moment for me sitting in my living room watching this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's been an amazing experience. We've got to work with Jeep. We have got to work with BF Goodrich. We've got to go out and about and travel all over the US and Canada. We have not been to any of the other countries yet, but with a lot of lockdowns and other regulations, it's kind of hard to travel. But we've had an amazing time. I've met Jeepers all over. I've had many of them share their stories with us, laugh with many of them, cry with some of them, and it is a very humbling experience to hear people's stories with the ducks and how it made their day better, or it found them at a moment where they thought everything was falling apart and it would never be okay again.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's very, very amazing what this has done.
That's spectacular. And do you feel like, are these modded, heavily modded Jeeps? Are they, stockers? Are they who's ducking?
It's a good mixture of everybody. Like, there are some guys you'll see out there with the big, like, heavy duty lifted, modded out Jeeps, and they're so excited to get a duck. I've seen them screaming in a parking lot, dancing quietly to themselves behind, like, try to hide. And I've seen, stock Jeeps that are new into...
Nobody ducks Chuck. Just saying.
You gotta drive it.
Yeah, parked in our building the whole time
I
doesn't
think
work.
you just got ducked.
Thank you. That was very sweet of you, but, I'm not taking a pity duck.
It's not a pity duck.
It's a
It's not
pity
a pity
duck.
duck. It's
I
a
brought you
general
guys
I
duck.
have to
ducks.
drive it. Ow.
I'll have her. We'll just walk over and put it on in the shop.
That's fine. That's fine. Dude,
But,
There's blue ducks with mohawks that are green.
There are.
oh my gosh, those
Mine.
are awesome.
I have, believe it or not, I have ducks in my Jeep from 11 countries right now.
11 countries.
Yes, and
That is spectacular.
We have
Arg.
duckers in 63 countries right now that we've tracked. So
Scott is randomly holding up ducks to the screen. If you're joining us, audibly, Allison is trying to paint an appropriate. That's
what I'm here for.
This idea of this just massive reach of humanity, and Scott is holding up random ass ducks
And making sound
and
effects.
making sound effects.
It was a pirate duck that he was holding a second ago.
Pirate duck.
Go long, Jeff. Go long.
That's totally. Jeff has gotten a duck chucked at him. Chuck a duck is a thing.
Yeah.
Literally driving at 40 miles an hour on a highway.
Yeah.
Chuck a duck is the thing.
I at Smoky Mountain was throwing them out the Jeep as we went down the streets cruising because
Nice.
it was kind of a thing everybody was doing.
Uh-huh.
I totally hit a guy in the face and I felt so bad. He's like, "No, it's from the mother ducker." I'm so
Oh,
excited.
wow.
I'm like, "Oh god."
The mother ducker.
Yeah, that's what they call me. Actually, Jeep gave me a high altitude 4xe Sahara for part of the summer, and so we named her Mother Ducker since everybody was calling us that.
Wow.
And we had her from May 10th to July 10th, and that was an amazing experience that we had a little bit of fun with.
So,
Did you see Joe?
so Joe Harper says, first of all, he said we all talk funny.
Y'all talk. funny.
Y'all.
Y'all.
Oh,
Yep.
you know what?
Yep.
My appropriate grammar and dialect from my Midwestern roots
No.
had me just read right over that. So Joe Harper says, I have gotten hundreds of ducks. Good. Why? How? I normally, it's Joe, and I say this because Joe basically drives short of a buggy, as far as I'm concerned. It's a TJ that, it resembles a TJ, but he might as well, it's just a big hammer that he takes to all the.
I mean, his Jeep is
Jeep
totally worth ducks.
Oh my God. So I normally turn around and duck someone else, which is what I have done in the past as well.
And a lot of people do.
But I
There's,
always keep one in the Jeep. Oh, that's nice.
awesome. There's a few ways to play. And usually people look for Jeeps that already have ducks because they feel a little safer ducking somebody that already has
More
a duck.
inviting. Yeah, it's like that initial feeling
Yeah.
you had when you ducked the giant lumberjack who may or may not have had a shotgun and an axe because he's from Canada.
Scott, that is not why your Jeep has never been ducked. It's not because it's too intimidating.
Thank you, Allison. I'm glad you caught that.
That's
I
cute.
wasn't going to call attention
No,
to it.
I've heard that before.
I didn't realize we needed a peace offering duck.
There
So
it is.
it's a safe Jeep.
Hey, my mom tapped a Jeep with her Jeep yesterday at Invasion when we
She
were
did
leaving.
a what? I'm sorry.
She pulled into a parking spot and totally tapped the back end with her Rubicon.
Is
of
this?
another
I mean, is
vehicle.
this incriminating evidence? Or
No,
we?
no, no, no,
was
no,
it
the lady was
shadow-
there.
I don't know if
No,
I
no, no,
want
no,
to
no,
be.
it's fine.
Okay.
The
Oh,
lady-
it's fine. It was just
No.
merely a scratch.
It's not like it's
no
a
damage.
bridge or something.
Flesh wound.
Nope, there was no damage. The lady was like, "Damn it, I wanted you to bend it so we could go put the new bumper on." So like,
that
I
was
wrote "sorry" for my
common.
mom on a duck, and it was one of the big ones, like the one I gave you guys this morning, and signed it for her, and she was laughing. She's like, "No, totally worth it. We're good."
Totally. You know what? I wonder if I can perpetrate that in the future. Not for when I hit something, but for like when my wife bounces into vehicles or inanimate objects.
So we need to
like,
put
just sign this and give it to you.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
Need to have a random Jeep duck
Chuck's
sticker.
trying to try the Canadian accent through
I saw
text
I'm
that.
there.
refusing to read Chuck's comment.
No, I need you to read that one.
Chuck Lorre, I duck when
go with
I'm.
that.
What's that?
He says he can duck when he's out and about.
It in a bit. That's,
So,
What was that?
That's cute.
That was not
It's really
Canadian.
unfortunate.
well, that's how people
that's
think we
Amish
say it.
Canadian. It's out and about.
Out and about.
Out and about.
And then we go out again. Just to
Isn't
let them have
Ontario
some fun.
French? Isn't that part of France?
actually,
what
no.
was
Ontario is bilingual, yes, but
it's France.
our
It's
French province is actually Montreal.
what is Montreal?
It is our French
French province.
Like it is
Pay
100%
attention.
French.
She's dropping some good info here,
There's
darn
good
it.
info. Keep
That
trying
is
to bring
good
this
info,
back.
but Dave just
Quebec, but
chimed in and
the
said he
cities.
needs to duck with insurance info on it.
Oh my God. Folks, that has happened here. The mother ducker has sowed that seed. Dave Ammerman, I give you full
bad
credit.
Idea.
Full credit. This is bumper Jeep. Hashtag bumper Jeep. And then chuck a duck as you drive away. The mother ducker said we could do it.
No.
The mother ducker really is what it is. Like
She goes by Mama Duck, but
Mama Duck.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And her gecko
We did
green Rubicon.
that happened here, folks. That's the new game. Hashtag it.
Gosh.
Awkward.
No, it's even worse when the insurance agents are giving out ducks. Like State Farm has special ducks now, apparently, for Jeepers.
So it's a good duck is always there?
Yep.
It's a good duck. You have a
That
good
was the
duck.
joke I made.
Nice. And Nikki Rutherford, good Midwest grammar does not translate to good Midwest geography knowledge. It does.
That's a darn truth.
No,
This guy gets lost.
French Canadian. No, I get lost because I'm looking for adventure. That is why I have a very good sense of direction. I just, I want all the adventure. Is my statement. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Wow. So Allison, you get a 4xe, which let's just if you know me, it makes me inherently
Super
jealous.
jelly.
Like just over the top jelly.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? How do you go from, owning your JK to then Jeep being like, yo, here's a 4xe to play with?
We asked very nicely. I messaged them and
I'm done. I'm throwing ducks. I'm throwing a hissy. This is my man hissy fit.
This is Neil's way of asking for a 4xe Jeep. They're asking. He's not politely asking, but I will do it for him. He really wants a 4xe.
Jeep was kind enough to loan it to us for 2 months. I went into Jeep to pick it up, and I figured I'd be signing like my life away for this vehicle because there's $70,000-$80,000 off the lot.
Of course.
And I go in, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Allison." They didn't check my driver's license. They didn't ask for insurance. Nothing. I signed.
There it is, Neil. You just gotta say you're Allison.
Hi, I'm Allison. And I would like to have a 4xe again.
The power of ducks.
The power of the duck.
It was a really weird experience because we go in, sign, and leave. There's no information. There's no anything.
Where did you
than
go for this?
Auburn Hills, Michigan. We went to Jeep to pick it up.
So this is just where my brain goes. Did it have manufacturer plates on it then?
It did not. It actually had Michigan plates on it, which was a really fun conversation going across into Canada.
I would imagine.
Okay.
Because they're like, "It's not your Jeep." At the border, I was like, "No, it's not. It belongs to Jeep." And they're looking at me. I was like, "I'm working with Jeep on a project called
Nice.
Jeep," and it's been a lot of fun. But when we picked it up, I was kind of floored because they were just like, "Okay, have fun." I'm like, "You haven't checked my driver's record. You haven't done anything. I could be anybody." And we take off with the Jeep, and they're expecting us to bring it back, which we would no matter what. But there's just that little feeling of guys.
So I gotta be asked. Was this through marketing? Was this through engineering? Who helped coordinate this along?
I reached out to Jim Morrison. Actually, I emailed him and I said, "Hey, we had an idea. I don't want to mile."
Neil's got a headache.
I have his email. Yeah. I
mean, he should know
didn't
this.
want to mile at my Jeep all
right?
summer because we had so many events. So I asked if they would help us out with this because we'd be showing off what the 4xe can do because it is an absolutely amazing vehicle. If you have not driven one, totally worth it.
Just
And
punch a Neil in the gut
my
right there.
JK started with 23,000 miles on it when I bought it. It now has almost 100,000 miles on it.
Wait a second.
Years.
You bought your JK.
Yeah.
With 23,000 miles.
Yep.
Now, I overheard this morning, I believe, that you bought your Jeep about 2.5 years ago.
I did.
About 2.5 years ago for 23,000.
I apologize,
Yes.
all Canadian watchers.
So
for
you
Neil's
bought-
transgressions.
What year?
She's a 2018 and she's a JKU.
So the pivot
Wow.
year.
Yeah, I got very, very lucky. I have the front year model, so I have the old style bumper and front end and the old stereo. So I have the dumb stereo, which is great because if I'm driving, nobody can call me.
Interesting. We could call me. So you have this. You bought it with 23,000, and you bought an 18 in 20-ish
Yep, in 2020
for $23,000.
Yes. I knew it was a steal of a deal. I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And he's like, "You're gonna be broke. You're buying a Jeep." I was like, "That's fine. Go away." And kept going. And Dad laughed at me, and it came home. We have had it. And it's been an amazing experience. We camp in it. I bought the bigger 4-door Jeep because I have Mastiffs. I had a Spanish Mastiff when I first bought it. And he was 180 pounds.
Wow.
And fitting him in anything else was kind of hard because he's very tall.
Sure.
And then he
It's
passed.
like a horse. You're
Yeah.
carrying a horse in the back of your Jeep.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And then he passed away. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
thank you. A bunch of our Jeepers were absolutely amazing in helping me locate an English Mastiff puppy.
Okay.
And so I have Ollivander, and he is 18 months old now, and he is 270 pounds.
Put
So
that in
it's me.
perspective.
So it's me. Just so if our listeners, if you've ever seen me, it's me. I'm just in the back of her Jeep flopping around.
Drooling on stuff.
Well, it's kind of, that's actually
It's
just,
about
if
the
you ask
same.
my wife, it's about the same. So that's common.
She was telling me that this morning before we aired.
My wife was
no,
telling
no,
you that?
Allison. And I thought to
I
myself,
feel like I should have a conversation about this.
and I was saying to myself, like, I just had a situation. I don't know if I talked about it, where our dog was. She's an old girl. She's 14 or so.
Yeah.
And she had this problem where she wasn't able to walk, and I had to carry her everywhere. And I was like, she's 49 pounds. I was
Yeah.
like, thank God she's not any heavier.
Yeah, right.
She's much better now. She's just got the
Good.
cute little head tilt.
Oh, that's good. She's doing okay?
She's doing great. But she told me how much her dog's weighs. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
I would have been done.
Five of your dog.
I would have
you
been
know?
done. The dog weighs more than me. I'm in trouble,
Oh my gosh.
especially since she
yeah.
she loves my wife more than me. That would have been problematic.
So you have the dog in the back of the JKU,
Yep.
right? I still can't get over the price and the mileage that what you bought.
Yeah.
That's spectacular.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, I gotta really steal the deal.
Yeah, you really did. That's awesome, and obviously we're fortunate you did because you created this movement, you know,
Yes.
that we're all benefiting from.
It's the whole butterfly analogy.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now you email Jim Morrison and they're like, yeah, cool. Here we're gonna give this Jeep off to
Yeah,
somebody.
for the ones that don't know, you should say who he is.
President of Jeep
North
corporate.
America.
Yeah, North America, Jeep corporate. So we take care of that. He hooks you up with a 4xe for 2 or 3 months because now you have 70,000+ miles in less than 2 years or
Yeah.
about 2 years.
Yeah, and that was the thing. We put almost 10,000 miles on it the time we had the 4xe. We started our season out with heavy amounts of activity. We were at Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival. We were at a bunch of local meets. We were taking it out to Algonquin Park in Ontario, which is the oldest provincial park in Canada.
Nobody here is going to fact check you. Don't worry.
No.
So you're perfect.
I was just trying to think. We've taken it out to Coopers Falls, Ontario. There's a nature reserve actually named after Peter's dad out there that we take the Jeep out to quite frequently.
We're referencing Peter, and he's just off screen for those who are listening. Peter is the other half.
You will see photos of him rarely, but at events you guys will see him. He
Pete's
goes by
literally
the-
wearing a shirt right now that
It
says
says
antisocial.
antisocial.
So he fits right in.
Him and Greg would be best
Him and
friends.
Greg, yeah. If Greg was here, they would be good friends. They would just sit there and mumble under their breath together. Perfectly okay.
We call him the ducking ninja because nobody sees him. It's
Nice.
great.
Nice.
But in any case, with everything that we did with it, we actually did a nature survey of creatures in the nature reserve where we live that is named after Peter's dad.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
And we could roll with the Jeep on the electric battery
Yeah,
the
yeah.
entire time, so you couldn't hear anything but the animals that we were trying to survey.
That's awesome.
Which
cool.
is a huge thing, especially for the guys doing the surveys, consistently tracking where animals
Was
are.
that intended? Like, was that an intentional activity once you had the 4xe? Like,
It was just a bright idea once we had it. I was
Okay.
like, well, we're going to take it out anyways. Why don't we go check out the trail? We ended up seeing 5 moose that night, which was really
That's
cool
awesome.
that is awesome.
too. And so we're sitting there and we did a whole ton of things with it. We got invited out with a group of Jeepers from Barrie, Ontario. They were going out on a ride at what we call the Scotch Line. And it's in Minden, Ontario, for anybody that wants to go check it
I'm
out.
not going to try to say that word.
That's a good idea, Scott.
Yeah, that's good. Reserve that one. Reserve that, Scott.
But
Put that one in your brain bank for
They
later.
told
use.
us it was stock friendly. Stock friendly, it was not.
Ah,
We were in door deep water at points. It was actually deeper in some spots. There's a video on TikTok of me apologizing to Jeep as we take their, brand new Jeep through, water.
it's supposed to ford water. It's stock friendly. It's
Yeah,
okay.
when it's up to the, engine bay, it's a
Yeah.
little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But we smacked it off some of the Canadian Shield. Like every time it hit, you just felt the
Yeah.
as you were going through.
Yeah.
But it survived. We got it to Bantam a week later. And it was
Oh.
only a little broken.
Nah. They never break. They present them opportunities
Yes.
for improvement.
But we had,
And then you throw the duck with your insurance information at it.
pretty much. But then we went to Bantam and took it out on the course that Bantam had set up, and we had a lot of fun with that too. And people were looking at me like, "Wait, that's a 4xe? It can do that?"
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize it can go through water. It can do all the same things a regular Jeep does. It just has some benefits for those that want it,
So the big question on that level, right? And we actually have a couple 4xe folks who are watching right now, even probably.
Okay.
My question for you is, how did we charge it? Where and how and when and we're using your stage 1, your stage 2.
We did both.
Okay.
The dealership that we have near us was kind enough to let us come in and use the stage 2 as we wanted to for certain events.
Okay.
We also plugged it in to the house and charged it overnight. It does take longer with stage 1, but I mean, we saw maybe a $5 difference on our power bill, which was like
it's
nothing.
not bad.
But I mean, if we were in a hurry to go do something, we would totally charge at the dealership because it was easier just to go over, plug it in, and keep going.
Totally. Did you charge on the road at all?
We tried to a couple times.
Okay.
And that was a little bit more difficult because it's not a universal head.
Mm-hmm.
The Jeep charge port is a little bit different than many, so you really have to be specific in looking on their app or on the charge apps of what is friendly for that vehicle.
Interesting.
So
Are
it was
you
a bit of a
listing
learning
engineers?
curve. Yeah, I was gonna say that was the one complaint, was trying to find it, because rural Canada where we are, we're still more densely populated than going a couple hours north, but
Sure.
it became a challenge.
It's still not easy. I mean, that's what everybody's complaint online right now is like. So there's a lot of misnomers about electrified vehicle technology,
Yes.
and I won't get into them explicitly right now because that will just command the rest of the time will just be on my soapbox.
Oh yeah.
However, it's not impossible. It's just there's a couple little hiccups in the process. So that's why I was curious what your guys' experience was, because of course you've been going back and forth across the border.
Oh yeah.
He just really wants to know so when he gets one eventually.
It saved us a lot of money over the summer, I will give it that. It's better mileage than my JKU, which is not hard. It's on 33s with a 3-inch lift.
Sure.
So, it drinks gas like it's water. But for this, we left Auburn Hills, Michigan, and drove all the way to Orillia, Ontario on one tank, which was huge for me.
Wow.
Sure.
Like, we would have stopped twice in my Jeep.
Sure.
And so that was a big, big factor for me that I loved. And, like, giving the keys back, I was sitting there going, I don't want to cry, but I love my Jeep. Like, it was absolutely phenomenal.
What was the purpose of the dates specifically? Like,
it was just what they had available for that specific vehicle.
Okay.
They had a lot of events this summer that they were taking vehicles to,
Sure.
and they needed it back so they could have it ready for another event that they were using it for. And so we made sure it was back on time. My mom actually came from Alabama to meet me at the border to drive me back across into Canada since she was coming up anyways.
So you talk about like going back and forth across the border. We have people now. Our customer base is actually very large. So our immediate customer demographic is a 3-hour market radius, and then up and down the East Coast. And we have a truck transport that runs up and down, from Florida to here and whatnot. And sometimes our customers who are like 45 minutes away are like the ones that give us the most flack, and they're like, oh, but you're 45 minutes away. And I'm like, this is just not that. So put this in perspective, right? You're like, I'm just running across over to France, and then I'm back down here to the States. And so how long?
I apologize.
No, it's fine. I'm used to hearing this.
How long does it actually take you to go back and forth?
From here to home, it's going to be about 5 hours.
Okay.
For us to go to Smoky Mountains, it was about 20.
Okay.
To go to our next event in Alabama, which is our own invasion, which I'm really excited about, it's going to take us about 23 hours.
So it's the ones that complain about an hour trip. Put that in perspective.
Right.
She's driving a whole day for her own event.
Yes. Allison and Pete and a giant dog and maybe Mushu the hairless cat are convoying.
He's hairless now, huh?
I don't know. That's what I had in my head. It's the
He's a
vision.
siamese cat.
She said that.
Vision he had in my head.
She totally said that. He doesn't pay attention. I apologize.
It's fine. I'm laughing.
So Allison has a Jeep cat as well. For our listeners, we were talking about before we were on.
Jeep cat.
Well trained.
He's a good boy.
which I would like to, challenge any of our people, our listeners, viewers who have cats of their own. Put them in your Jeep and see what they do.
It won't end well.
It won't end well.
Just put them on a collar and a leash. And I tried this. My cat just lays down and looks wounded
They
at me.
turn into a puddle.
They do. And she just looked at me and was like, "What are you doing to me? I cannot move now. I am paralyzed."
So, and just for everyone's purpose, the cat's name is Mushu, right? And you can put two and two together.
It's a fun story.
It's a great story, but we're gonna keep that one off today. You're driving a day to get to quote your own event. Is that correct? So tell us about that.
Our event down in Alabama is at Stony Lonesome. It's October 14th through 16th. We've got Scotty Austin from Saving Abel coming to play the event for us.
Nice,
That's awesome.
We have a show and shine. We've got vendors. We've got food vendors. We've got games for the little ones. We even have a Power Wheels challenge for the little ones to bring the little Jeeps.
Davey the Savage Thompson might have to go along with you. He is so geeked up to do a Power Wheels challenge. If it's against 5-year-olds, that's okay as well.
That's okay. I have a 3-year-old niece, and she has a Jeep, so we decided to make it kid friendly in that sense,
awesome.
just so she could go do something
absolutely.
too. And she has her own bag of ducks and a hashtag that my brother and mom created for her for ducking. It's hashtag Annabeast.
Anna Beast for your 3-year-old.
Well, her name
niece?
is Annabeth, and my brother calls her Anna Beast, and it irritates her to no end, so it makes it even more fun. But
That's fun.
kids are amazing.
Yes.
But she's gotten so into ducking, like if she sees one of our Jeeps, she just demands to go out. Like the last time I had her in my Jeep, she was sitting in my lap, and we were just at Mom and Dad's, and she was mad at me when I said, "Okay, we got to go in and have dinner." She's like, "No, we're going.
I want to play in the Jeep."
Yeah.
We can understand that all too well.
We started her early, but the same was done for me when I was a kid. I grew up with antique military Jeeps that my great uncle restored. So I've been a Jeep girl my whole life. And unfortunately, my first Jeep was not a Wrangler, it was a Liberty. Okay. But I love my Liberty. So
what year Liberty?
We had a 2006.
Okay. I see you, Joe Brella, just so you know.
Lots of people starting Liberties.
Absolutely. A lot of people. And it's actually honestly, go back on it's a pretty capable rig, honestly.
Oh, yeah. It was an amazing vehicle. We had a lot of fun with it. But with our Invasion, any Jeepers welcome. It doesn't matter what type of Jeep you have. We have options for you to come hang out, have fun.
Okay.
And we're going to be doing some giveaways. We've got some raffle stuff to raise money for our charity because we have an education fund that pays for teachers to buy classroom supplies when they need help. If they write in and say, "Hey, we need this," we verify they're an educator and we help them.
Okay. So you do a better verification job than Jeep did, is what I hear.
Well, you never know what they did on the backside that we don't see.
All right, that's fine.
It was still a really weird thing.
That was a good recovery on your part.
We've been really fortunate, and like this weekend, I got a phone call from BF Goodrich, I got it 2 weeks ago, and they said, "Hey, we're going to be giving away special ducks for our OnTrail app, and we'd love to have you as part of this." And so I downloaded the app because I wanted to see what it was. I was very curious.
Scott is so proud of those ducks right now.
He's
really holding
cool.
one up for the camera.
They're actually one of the cooler ducks I've seen, besides like the ones that I have from like Australia. And
Scott was like a lifelong BF Goodrich fan up until his current set of Yokohamas. So he's here for this.
Yes.
They were amazing to work with this weekend. They were absolutely a blast, and I signed almost 3,000 ducks for them. And about 2,500 ducks just out and about at Smoky Mountains because people would find us and be like, "Oh my god!"
I love that you just said out and about. It's
classic.
She said it in the wild. That was my favorite part. Was like she slipped it in as if there was no intentional
I didn't
purpose.
even think about it.
You didn't, but I'm here for it. I said it.
Like we had people walking up with ducks that are this big, asking for them to be autographed as well, and it was a really crazy thing because people would see my Jeep and they'd start looking and they're like, "Oh my god." We had one lady driving down the strip with us and we hear, "You have to stop." "Oh my god, Allison." I'm like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." So we ended up at a parking lot, and this is when we're going in. We haven't even hit Smoky Mountain yet. And this whole family, and it's two big, a big Gladiator and a big Rubicon. This family from Kansas pours out and they're so excited and so sweet. And they're like, "Can we get photos and autographs?" And they were so excited. And it was amazing. And that just kept happening. Like we were at Cades Cove for a while. We signed ducks there. We were at the Smoky Mountain Outfitters because they hosted us as well.
Sure.
So we had Jeepers following us around everywhere trying to get autographs. And like it was a very surreal feeling because, you know, in Ontario, this isn't quite as big.
Sure.
With COVID, you know, people are just getting into it now. But to have, you know, thousands of people hunting for you is a really weird feeling, by the way. But it brings some joy. And
yeah.
Like the stories I've had shared with me are absolutely amazing. Some of them I've cried with some of our Jeepers. I've laughed with others.
Sure.
And I've sat and listened when others have needed it. We have a Jeeper that is terminal in Michigan, and she was kind enough to share her story, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried my eyes out.
Oh no.
She was supposed to pass away. The doctors told her about a year ago, and she's still here, and she says that ducking gave her a purpose, and she's going to keep fighing.
Yeah, way to be a fighter.
And
that's awesome.
like, she is one of the strongest women I know. We have a Jeeper in Tennessee that has a duck store, and you know, she's been a friend, and she didn't tell me she had the duck store. And when I found out, she's like, I don't want you to think anything. I was like, dude, can we support it?
That's awesome.
I was so excited because I was like, dude, I'd rather buy from a friend than buy from somebody else. We sold the store almost out of ducks while we were at Smoky Mountains because we sent all the Jeepers. She was pretty mad at me. We just took a photo in the store and posted it. Like,
yeah.
It was not like a hey, but
right,
you know.
right. Yeah, that's that's the positive power of social media. And
it was amazing to see what it did for them because, you know, that's bringing more people in, better business for that small family-owned business.
Totally.
And we support a lot of those, like flock lockers, which I don't know if you've seen the ducks on my dash and how they're held in, but they're 3D printed.
Totally. Tell us about that.
And they have little pegs on them, so you stick the ducks down on them. And there's a lot of dirty jokes about that, but
Neil was already going there.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I'm gonna swallow my tongue on that one.
But you literally
Scott has got a duck turned over right now, and he's looking down at it, thinking, "What?"
No, you just blew my mind because. So, for those who don't know, I have one lonely duck. I have been blessed with one duck.
You can get a Foot Locker for it. It's a single pit one with feet. It's really cute.
And I was already driving, I think, over the weekend, and my duck just committed suicide and was running across the dash. And I was like, so she said that. She's like, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God.
You need this.
I need this.
And
a flock locker.
Yeah, flock
flocking,
lockers,
believe it.
They're amazing too. They actually donate $1 out of each sale to our charity to help us.
Wow.
Their Jeep's not running right now, so we did something for them to help them get their Jeep running, and they're both going to kill me later if they see this, so this will be fun because they're not far from here.
Right.
They were crying when I told them what we were going to do for them, so we turned around and helped them since they've helped us from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to have Hobbs back on the road soon. They have an orange Renegade.
Cool.
And, you know, we've got the Ducket buckets, which I don't know if you guys have seen those, but they come with pre-tagged ducks, and it's a 5-gallon bucket. And I think you get 30 or 60 ducks in each one, depending on which size you buy. But they're very handy for people who, like me, who've given away 25,000 ducks in the last
Sure.
years.
Sure.
Yes, we count every duck we give out.
Wow.
It's easier for us
So
to
what's
keep
your
track.
total number?
25,218 as of this afternoon. Well, 19, 20, 21, 22. Sorry, the little guys we didn't count.
She as she points and counts across the studio table here.
And write it down so I can add it to the count that we got.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, we have to be OCD. We track everything we do.
That's awesome.
In the sense of how much we're giving out because we want to know where they're going. But it's insane.
Chuck Lorre responds in, need little rubber toasters for renegades.
I made that joke and got hit, so I'm gonna not comment on that.
You're gonna reserve comment, will you? Okay. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought some ducks with mullets so we could give them to the gladiators last year.
Ow!
I will say I love the gladiator. I got to drive one named Little Wasp, and it is absolutely amazing. I had so much fun over the weekend. The owner of this Jeep is a phenomenal human being, and hopefully he'll see this because he is absolutely amazing, and he'll hurt me for that. But he handed me the keys when I said, "Can I get a picture in it?"
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, because I just wanted to take a photo and go.
Sure.
Like, I didn't want to, bother him too much, and he's a friend now. But he was like, okay, let's go. I was like, wait, what? You're going to let me drive your... No. And he goes, yeah, it'll be fine. I was like, but I could hurt it. And we had an argument about that. But I drove it up and down the strip at Pigeon Forge, and it was absolutely amazing. I had so much fun.
Did he have a bug deflector as well?
He
went there.
He did. The bus driver and just ran right over Jeffrey. Allison, if you're not 100% aware, Jeffrey is a proud gladiator owner.
Yes, I am.
And
with his bug deflector.
his first mod was his bug deflector. Like he's an 80-year-old man.
Just sad it's not straight because we totally give him the guy that was
we give him the little guy that has the nose from the 80s.
And I purposely didn't go with that straight one because I thought it was from the 80s. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I got to do more
Somebody out there
streamlined.
can put us a graphic together to put on Jeffrey's
I could
bug
totally
deflector.
do that.
Oh boy.
But
Wasn't there a name for that little character? Like
Probably
remember, like
was.
Ziggy. Remember, it was like a Ziggy type character. Like I feel, Jeffrey's Jeep
totally
is named
dating ourselves
Enigma.
right now.
Enigma, but I feel like we should call it Ziggy.
Oh jeez.
But
Jeffrey.
I think my Jeep's getting renamed. That's not good.
Yeah, I think we could be naming his Jeep Ziggy. That'd be fantastic. All right, Allison. So real quick before we Kilroy.
Kilroy.
Hi, honey.
Kilroy. Amy with the save on that one. Allison, you kind of touched on it a little bit, and we could probably hang out all day and talk. Our actual customer base would not be happy with that.
No, they would not.
So tell us about your charity, right? Because, hold on a second. Let me paint this picture, folks, because everything Allison has said, I had the opportunity to meet Allison a little bit over Toledo Jeep Fest, and I totally had that experience where I was walking down the street, and so I'm gonna share the story because I don't want anybody to think that this is outlandish or maybe as a first party recount that she's embellishing by any stretch of the imagination. We're walking away from the main strip to a parking area.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And what I am gonna say that this paints the picture of kind of
He's probably
how
gonna do the imitation again.
genuine,
Brace yourselves.
how genuine
It wasn't
Allison
my fault.
is in her process. Because I gotta tell you, like I've already heard her talk about partnering with other people, appropriately, supporting small businesses, creating charitable contribution opportunities, furthering, kind of a helping hand, community-based activity
For the
right?
grumpy people out there, they're like, I don't want that duck on my Jeep. This is a sign of love for people.
This
is giving back to someone. Just smile, dang it.
Right. And so I take as a person who has, oftentimes our business, we are more rugged individuals. We are functional Jeep experts. We are hardcore about off-road and suspension and performance and axle gearing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm here for the ducks because of the approach that Allison has. So here we are. We're walking away from the main drag of the event, and we're at an intersection. And there's a bone stock JLU sitting at the corner there, and it had just 14 gazillion ducks across the front windshield. And as the Jeep kind of just barely starts to accelerate away, Allison very appropriately, very nicely, just says, "I like your ducks."
Yep.
Like it was that, right? This is. The Savage was there with me, Savage, myself, and Allison. And all she says is, "I like your ducks." Now, she could have said, "Hey, I started that." She could have said, "Hey, you want an autograph from me? I'm the one who created ducks." Some BS line like that. No, she goes, "Hey, I like your ducks." All right. This woman begins, not Allison, but the woman driver begins to pull through, and she smiles and is like, "Thank you," like real sincere.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened.
It clicked.
You're Allison!
Yeah, she's like, "You stay there." I was like, "We're walking to that parking lot."
I was like, holy cannoli. Like, Scott and I have had some funny incidences with our own experiences, a level of notoriety within the technical Jeep community. But holy cow, this woman.
We've never been that. Nobody's been that excited.
That level
Scott.
excited.
No.
They pulled this woman and presumably her son pulled back around the
I'm sure
block.
no traffic laws were committed.
It was perfectly fine. It was
Did a
acceptable.
U-turn, actually.
It was acceptable. It was just Jeep. You there's no rules. You just throw the duck with your insurance information and then leave. It's okay.
I think it's a pass. So the cop would have pulled you over, like, listen, see this?
See that?
Actually, I've been pulled over for those. They want them. Usually, cops will see us and they'll pop us so they can get a duck.
That's hysterical.
It's awkward. But
Dave Ammerman, I feel like she's talking to us right now.
And then we just
so
give them the one with the insurance information and move on.
Insurance information, proof of registration,
license and insurance.
Duck. This is my right to carry.
actually, at Smoky Mountain, there was a cop car parked in the middle of the party under the bridge. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was parked down there just to keep an eye on everything,
Sure.
make sure it was okay. It was so covered in ducks, it took that officer half an hour to clean it off.
Oh my!
And he looked at me and he goes, "This is your fault." I was like, "I'm so sorry,
It
but
is
at
your
least
fault.
you appreciate it."
That's right.
And he cracked up. He goes, "This is so cool. I'm gonna go duck some Jeeps too."
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. Long story short, they genuinely, people are moved by this. So, Allison, you're doing something to further that movement. And again, you're not, briefly when we talked, I kind of sheepishly brought up there was somebody in the convention center who was like selling little ducks and duck paraphernalia and all that kind of stuff. And you were like, that's cool. I have to go check it out. Like you were genuinely excited for them. Yep. Whereas, there are certain people who are within business or self-motivated or self-fulfilling activities. They'd be like, well, I'm going to send them a cease and desist letter or something like that. You're like, no, I'm going to take a picture in their little mom and pop store and see if we can get people to buy them out.
Yeah.
So then how do you go from that to supporting a charity, and what does that charity do?
We have t-shirts that we sell. So if you want to support the charity, we're always willing to take donations as well, but we do have t-shirts you can purchase. I don't have mine on today because I actually wore it at Smoky Mountain and it's dirty, but
sure.
It's a Wrangler front end with 2 ducks and then the hashtag above the ducks. So it's hashtag #DuckDuckJeep.
Nice.
And it's really cute. But for our charity, we support educators. We buy supplies for teachers in need, or if there's a student in a specific classroom that may not have at home and they need a little help, the teacher can reach out and say, hey, this is what we need. And we have an application they fill out. And then as we can get to them, we do.
Okay.
It's not always a lot because we are, still starting out, figuring it out, but we give what we can.
Nice.
Last year, there is a teacher in Florida named Patricia Dovey, and she went viral for her desks in her classroom. She made the Jeep desks where every desk had a section off to keep the kids away from each other. And she was on all the news stations and everything. We actually paid for her classroom for a couple goodies for her kids.
Cool.
As one of the first teachers we got to help. My mom teaches in Alabama, so I've seen a lot of things.
Sure.
And teachers in the South are even more hard hit than a lot of other areas. But when the school, doesn't have the money for headphones, they don't have the money for, extras for the kids, or there's a teacher that says, hey, these kids aren't getting food at home, or they don't have clean clothes or something, we'll help buy laundry supplies, we'll help buy cleaning supplies for the classrooms. Is during COVID, a lot of teachers were given one Clorox wipe per day for their classroom.
Sure.
And that's not enough. No matter how you stretch it, one Clorox wipe to wipe down every desk 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Without question.
And I mean one, not like one per class, one.
Right.
So we wanted to do something to help with that because, it has hit so many people in so many ways, but educators have had such a struggle because most teachers make between $28,000 and $38,000. And that's not a lot, especially when you're buying your own classroom supplies. Because schools don't provide those for teachers.
Sure.
And a lot of parents don't understand when they ask for those supplies. It's not that they are being greedy. It is 100%. Teachers don't have those things, or they have to buy them out of pocket.
Sure. So how does somebody? You said you have T-shirts.
Yep.
And or the charity itself. So how does somebody buy a shirt from you to support your cause, and or donate to your charity?
We have a PayPal link on Facebook, as well as a
where on Facebook?
On our official Ducking Jeep EST 2020 Facebook page.
So her Facebook page is a mouthful.
It is.
Okay. Now, and we're not even going to get into talking about this, but we will leave a link to it somewhere. If you're on Facebook, we'll have it here in the comments. If you're joining us on YouTube, it'll be in the description of the video. And so her Facebook page is, quote, official Go ahead. What is it? Official Ducking Jeep.
EST 2020.
Official Ducking Jeep EST 2020.
And we are considered a Jeep enthusiast group. I have paperwork from Jeep for that,
Okay.
which is awesome. We have the charity set up. We've got a PayPal link for straight donations. We are also working on new decals as well as our Duck Duck Jeep Invasion decals, which are pretty cool. So
cool.
If you watch the page for those are coming soon.
And what was the advantage to doing official relationship stuff?
Oh, you mean like working with Jeep?
Yeah.
It keeps them from shutting us down.
Oh,
in a good way. It keeps us honest in the sense of we have rules we have to follow to make sure that Jeep knows we're compliant.
Totally.
And that we're not, profiting in some way.
Get some a 4xe.
Right.
Like I make nothing off Duck Duck Jeep, which a lot of people assume we get paid to do everything and that, people pay us for the hotels, things we do. Everything comes out of pocket that I do.
Sure.
My ducks don't even come out of the charity fund. Like everything we've done up until this point.
All 25,218 or something like that. Yeah. 25.
We had 1,000 donated by our sponsor, RTX Wheels, which is amazing. And we're also working with Seven View Chrysler out of Toronto, Ontario. Well, Vaughan, Ontario. It's right outside Toronto.
Okay.
And we have a special ducky campaign going on with them, which is really cool. With every Seven View tag, if it's shared on social media, they donate $1 to the charity.
Nice.
So we're going to be tossing a few of those out as we go back toward the border.
Nice.
We are also working with BF Goodrich, or partnered with BF Goodrich for the OnTrail app ducks, which right now. So we also have a contest with that. So if you go to the ontrail.com and you pull it up, it's called Duck Duck Tire. It's the contest, and you guys can download the app, check it out, which it's really, really cool. And those ducks get 10 cents per social media post on Instagram and Twitter if you put it on your Jeep and hashtag it with the hashtag specific to that contest. And you also have a chance to win a set of tires.
Nice. All right. So we're going to recap this real quick. Folks, you got to head over to Official Ducking Jeep EST 2020. And you're going to have to ask to get joined to the group. It's a private group. It's a private group, nearly 70,000 people strong. You need to actually write a sentence to get in. Otherwise, the admins will not approve you. I typically am that guy who I'm like, I like Jeep. When people are like, what kind of Jeep do you drive? I'm like, I don't know, pick one. I like Jeep, so I do that. No, I wrote them a nice sentence. I wanted the admins to, know that I cared.
It makes it easier. We have a lot of bots that hit or scammers, and they'll just put Jeep or something like yes for the answers.
Totes.
We really watch those because we've had to remove so many people.
Yeah. Keep it clean in there. I get it. So you got to head over there. If you're listening, if you're watching, wherever, however, make sure you head over there, get involved, get in with the official group, buy the shirt, donate to the charity, find your BFG, Goodrich Duckies, and hashtag them or hashtag the duckies in general, right?
And with the duckies, if you cannot get a physical one, you can download a digital one to still participate in the contest.
That's awesome.
So we've made it really easy there. I'm actually gonna go take a few pictures with my Jeep on the way home because our ducky is traveling, and then he's gonna go to a special home with one of our duckers.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Cool. So these are awesome ways that we as a community can give back to Allison, right? And all the cool things that and her organization has done for our Jeep community, we can reciprocate, obviously in finances and support and passing it along as, many hands light work. So really, really genuine and great opportunity we have. You brought up the OnTrail app. As when I came back from Toledo, I kind of promote it just a little bit because I thought it's such a cool opportunity. A lot of people from my position over the years have asked me about app development or website development for trail management and land management guiding. I've seen a lot of people kind of tiptoe into it and not a lot of follow through, but I'd like to think with BFG's kind of support and backing that we're going to really see this app be influential. So we're going to
do another transition.
We're going to transition. Hashtag not sponsored. And Allison, you're going to tell us about that app.
And now it's time for our product spotlight.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Spotlight.
Hashtag not sponsored.
The OnTrail app. You spent all weekend talking about this and in the BFG booth, right?
I did.
All right.
We actually got to hang out with some of the BFG guys and work on getting people signed up for the app.
Cool.
I downloaded it a couple weeks ago and actually took it out and tried it out. So in Ontario, they haven't mapped trails yet. They're predominantly in the US.
Okay.
So for us, we actually got to track our own trail. So we hit the trailhead and hit go on the screen. It's super easy.
So tell me about this. We launch our app just like you would launch, YouTube on your phone, right? And so now a little screen comes up and I get to sign in or not.
Yeah.
There is a free version and there is a pay for version, correct?
Yes.
I understand the free version is actually pretty robust
It's
as
awesome.
it is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to pay for it. But if you are a person like a number of our viewers who are all over the US, you might actually benefit from the pay for version. So I launch it and I'm about to hit my trailhead.
Yeah.
Right?
And you hit go and it will track you all the way through. And even if you have no cell signal, because where we are in Ontario, for example, there's no signal out on this trail.
Okay.
It tracked us all the way through and all the way back. So it gave us the amount of time, the different speeds we used in different parts of the trail. It gave us the ability to take pictures of the obstacles and the trail to post and publish for other people to see.
Really?
We could mark the difficulty of the trail, easy, medium, or hard. And it was phenomenal. It worked better than any of the other apps I've used thus far. I have published the trail up in Coopers Falls, Ontario, for anybody that's brave enough to come up and play with us.
Nice.
And
I think she called you out, Neil.
I think that was a call out.
That was I was 100%. I mean, I feel like I'm back in like high school or college, like the locker room.
He's totally getting lost though, because he's got to transverse that border. It's scary.
I so badly, folks. I mean, we could keep going, and this is really unfortunate, but I really want to talk about border stuff because I have done some stuff at borders before, and Scott's not wrong.
I'm afraid.
I've been detained, but that's totally.
That's to be expected. They're doing their job because
I'm afraid to ask.
Look at him.
Like I've been stopped once, and they actually took the top off the Jeep to check the whole thing to make sure there wasn't drugs shoved in somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate.
Swabbed my rubber ducks. It was such a weird thing.
I see. That's a good story. That's a good story. They made you. I mean, what I heard was they made you go topless, and they took they inspected your
ducks.
They inspected your ducks and
They're a good
your
quality
quack stacker or whatever that. What is it?
Quack attack.
No. Well,
The
quack
flock
attack's
lockers.
Flock lockers. The pegs in the bottoms of the ducks. No, I was detained on the Mexican border, but that's
fair enough.
Yeah,
right.
No worries. It was over a mango.
That would do it. Yeah.
Let's just clear it up.
You can't take fruit across the border.
It was a mango. It happens.
Yep. They're really strict about that.
They are. There's no chill. I mean, I appreciate what our Border Patrol does, our TSA, because I was also detained in Phoenix. Different time. That was completely different.
This is why I don't travel with Neil. I'll meet you there. It'll be all right. I'll beat you there. When
you'll beat me there. I'll be late anyway, so it's okay. It's okay.
I think I'll hide in Canada, guys.
Fruit police. They're tough, right, Chuck? I agree, 100%.
Ryan says no harm, no foul.
No,
that's cute. I like that.
Oh golly! All right, so you're mapping things. She called me out. My manhood insecurities took over. I was back in the locker room. We were about to go bench press or squat it out in the weight room. That's okay. It's okay. I'm all right to admit it at this point. But we're gonna have to have a wheel off at some point.
I'm not afraid.
I love it.
Throw down.
So what else do we do with this app?
There are contests that pop up. There's information from BF Goodrich that pops up. You can earn points on each trail that you go out on, and for posting as well.
Cool.
And it's basically social media for being out on the trail. It was phenomenal. Like for me, who doesn't know every trail in the area where we go, it's nice to know that somebody else has been out there and to know what's out there, just so you don't rip your Jeep apart if you don't have that level of experience.
Sure. Are these public lands? Are these state access, provincial access?
In the U.S., it's a mixture of everything.
Okay.
It shows just every published trail.
What if it's gray, what we call gray wheeling, where it's not exactly legal, it's not exactly illegal? Does it differentiate?
I haven't played with that part yet,
okay.
So I cannot attest to that.
Okay.
But
I just, there's some logging access roads. There's obviously some, railroad access.
Yep, we have those too.
So oftentimes that bigger conglomerate sometimes doesn't know, maybe it historically hasn't cared that people are on their land. But it's not exactly legal. And sometimes those trails, pass on and off somebody else's private property, which is where then our, problems may arise. And I'm just wondering, if somebody's grandma is out wheeling, could she accidentally end up on one of these trails? Allison's she's gonna figure this out. She's as bad as Jeffrey.
She's Googling
it. she's
Actually, I pulled up the app.
Okay.
I was looking to see what was around here, and I have no service.
Nah, that's okay.
But
Duck down.
Duck down. Oh, look at you, Scott. You made it funny. Well then, Allison, is there anything else that you would like to share with us other than right now, if you can do a virtual ducking and tagging BFG into it on Insta, Twitter, so on and so forth, they're going to make 10 cents go towards your charity, correct?
Yes, they are.
We've got your actual signed ducks from the dealership that you've partnered with, and they're doing like a buck a duck, right?
They're tagged ducks from Seven View Chrysler, and there's a QR code on them. They're actually also signing people up to give them a chance to win merchandise, which is really cool.
Okay.
But these ducks give us $1 to the charity every
Cool.
time somebody shares them on social with the hashtags Seven View Chrysler and official ducking Jeep. So we've had a lot of fun with those so far this summer, and that goes until September 24th.
Awesome.
So they actually currently have their big Summer of Duck Jeep graphic on my hood.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we've had a lot of fun with that.
We've got shirts for sale. We've got straight donations to the charity.
Yep.
It's a really important time of year because we obviously, kids and teachers are all back to school, so we're here to support them in that process. And you have a big event coming up in October 14th through 16th, I think you said, in Alabama.
Yep.
Don't do it.
I think we will end there before any more atrocities grammatically and verbally happen. I think we are so fortunate for you and Peter for swinging through and being part of the podcast. And thank you so much, and wish you best of luck with all of what's going on. And so I guess the last question is, who's the wheel operator between you and Peter? Who's the better driver?
It depends. Peter is good at
He's
some
raising his
things.
hand up over there.
He pointed
pointing
at
at
me.
He
her.
pointed at her.
I have more patience on the trails.
Okay.
He has more patience on the highway. I swear like a sailor. Off-roading, I have more fun, and I have better pedal control than he does.
Okay.
And I'm not likely to smack my Jeep against something on the on the trails.
Uh-huh.
Where Peter has more patience for people on the road, and he is a better, kinder soul than I am.
Amen. All right, folks. I hope you enjoy this. Like I said previously, we are on Facebook Live. It will be up on Facebook for about 24 hours before we take it back. And then you got to find us on your favorite streaming platform starting on Wednesdays, and then catalog on our I Speak Jeep podcast on YouTube, which is the sister channel of the SFJ 4x4 TV channel on YouTube. So you can, find us in both of those locations. I would hope that you guys enjoy this. I think we had fun. It was a good time. And Jeffrey, the Italian Stallion, for making this, coordinating and making this happen. And obviously you guys for going out of your way to swing through on your way back from the Greater Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's been a lot of fun.
It has been, right? And it's what the Jeep community is totally about. So we hope that, if you missed this one, go back, find it on YouTube. If you're on the old, if we're in your ear holes and you're listening to us on the road, pull off to the side. Go out, leave us a review on whatever streaming band you're listening to us on. We appreciate all of those people who have done all those downloads. and who have supported the program appropriately. We too have our shirts and our stickers and all those kind of goodies for sale, and a couple orders come in over the weekend, so we'll get those processed as soon as possible. We thank you for being part of our Jeep family. And until then, Jeep family, Jeep on. Duck on.
And get a duck and do it.
Do it.